Tell us a little bit about like what Studio Moonfall is, like to the authors in the audience, for those of them that are just trying to wrap their heads around the concept, right? And maybe here in a little bit you can also give us a tour too. That'd be great. Like how did this idea get started, and what's your mission, I guess, as it relates to independent authors?
So yeah, originally I opened the shop as I kind of wanted to be a little flagship shop where I could showcase my work and I would try to leverage it to drive sales to online. And then this would be more of an art studio sort of setup. I opened the store at the end of 2019 though. So then when COVID rolled around, I had to pivot real quick. So
Yeah.
then I ended up going more into retail. I was gonna do workshops and everything for authors in here because I've been doing a lot of work with local authors anyway, and it just worked out easier to focus entirely on sales for it. And eventually,
Uh-huh.
I started doing book festivals, and then I bring in guest authors every week to just highlight them, showcase them, and it gives me special events to draw people to the store.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So your own, obviously your own books, and obviously being an illustrator, probably having that creative space was the original mission. That makes a lot of sense. For what do you do for those independent authors? Because I know one thing, authors can get their books into your bookstore. Obviously, there's a process to that, and we can talk about it as well. What are because obviously that's good for you. What how does that work for somebody who wants to get their book into Studio Moonfall, right? What's the process they have to go through?
It's pretty easy for me because I work with authors that are coming from all sorts of different spaces. They're either more established or they just published their very first book and then they need a little handholding just to get their distribution all set up. Main way I do it is I have a form on my website at studiomoonfall.com/authors. So everybody throw your books at me.
Yeah,
And then I use that list of author submissions to find local authors that are available for events that we do so then we can get them in right away. And then I do a lot of times I'll just order books as I notice them in the list and be like, oh, I've never had that in before, so I should get that for the shop
sure.
and see how it does. Otherwise, I do author promotions to trading books for inventory for marketing. So we do like a year-long marketing thing that you get shelf a face-out placement on the shelves and all sorts of highlights with I do little
Sure.
videos with I've got my weird little mascots around the store to do videos or just social media promotions or email promotions. I've just started recently doing more email promotions for books that I haven't gotten into the store yet that I've gotten submissions from. I'm just going through the whole list and I'm doing a rotating uh, promotion, feature 10 or 12 books every week on the email list. And
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I guess to kind of, I don't, do you mind giving us a quick tour to kind of give
yeah,
everybody an
let's do
idea
it.
of like what because this is a brick and mortar store, and you're in Kenosha, Wisconsin, right,
Kenosha,
in that area.
Wisconsin. I'm one block away from Lake Michigan and
Yep.
the kind of touristy downtown area. We have a whole harbor and everything. So let's start. We've got the front door here, and now imagine yourself walking into Studio Moonfall. So it's a tiny little store. It's about 300 square feet. Bookshelves, those are all local authors or people that I know through the self-publishing world. I've been working directly with authors in the indie scene since probably around 2012 or so. I started up early with like the self-publishing podcast guys. So I did a bunch
Yeah.
of book work with them. I met Damon as BookFunnel was just a twinkle in his eye.
Yep.
And so I've known him for a long, long time. And so that has introduced me to many, many authors to carry in here. And then I bring in local authors as usually they'll find me off Google or through other authors through like the Kenosha Writers Guild or whatever. And then they'll drop in the shop, show me their books. And a lot of times I'll just buy their books directly from them, or I'll make them go ahead and do the submission
Yeah.
process if I just don't have the space to buy them. But yeah, so yeah, these are the shelves here. The books on this shelf, this is that featured marketing barter deal that we do. That's
Right.
the cut the line thing. So if you look it up on the author submission page, there's info there. And then this big wide shelf here are all mine. Yeah,
Right.
that Chubbables was my 100th book that I've published, and I'm currently publishing 3 a day for the next month. So I'll be up over 250 by the start of April. I do journals too, so it helps pad the numbers. But
Sure.
because I'm so heavy into merchandising and everything that I sell as many journals with no content in the middle as I do of my chapter books that I
Yeah.
had to work way harder on. Um,
Yeah. Right.
so yeah,
Well, hey, fiction authors pad their numbers too, so yeah, don't worry about it.
yeah, and yeah, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So this 30-page coloring book, that's like a
Yeah.
120-page novel there or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
then the artwork for the coloring books that all goes into like down here we have stickers and buttons and
Yeah.
artwork up there. Then we got a
Right.
bunch of Dungeons and Dragons. I've started writing D&D adventures.
Okay,
I do
yeah.
a Goblin series for that, which I'm kind of early launch mode. Then we've got artwork over here and used books up front. So
Right.
yeah,
Awesome.
and I
I love the
outside I
vibes.
have a
Love the
parking
vibes.
lot. Oh yeah, it's nice and creepy. We usually have like fantasy music playing in the background, which is really easy to ignore after a 9 hour day in the store. You just forget it's there.
Right. Right. Exactly.
I was going to ask, do you carry all genres? Like, are
All
there any
genres.
kinds that
Yep.
you don't want to, that you don't typically publish or
No,
carry in your
no, we
store?
have everything. It's mostly it leans fantasy just because that's the vibe of the store. I have everything. I have nonfiction and memoir, poetry. We have a little bit of spicy stuff too. So yeah, we got everything. My books are fantasy horror for like all ages audience. So I think that's kind of just like the centerpiece and everything else branches
Yeah.
out from there. But because I do want to support all indie authors, I bring in everything.
Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos from BookFunnel, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.